All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I were to do all of this again, I'm a software engineer right now, I would not go to college. I would completely skip over it. I have a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, and I gained a lot of experience from that, and I learned a lot from doing that, but honestly, I didn't need to do a whole 4 years learning that stuff. I could have easily learned everything in 2 years. There's a lot of fillers. There's a lot of tech electives, which are helpful. There's gen eds, there's all that, but all really, it just wasted my time. That's all it really did. My first 2 years, I didn't even learn about engineering. So I decided to make this series because if I were to do it all over again, this is exactly how I would do it. How to get a job in tech without a CS degree. So what actually matters to these tech companies? Let me be honest with you. Every single time I've received an offer, no one even checked I went to college until after I accepted my offer. They asked for my bachelor's degree or evidence of that. And the only time that anyone ever questioned me or asked for anything early in the process was Google. And honestly, I think it was just because of the department I applied to. I don't think it has anything to do with the actual Google interview process at all. I think they just wanted to know, and they didn't even ask for like my actual official GPA. They actually just wanted to see if I got an A in certain courses like operating systems and programming 1 and 2. I just had to show evidence of that I got, or at least what grades I got in those classes. In my experience, the last thing an interviewer wants to actually hear from you is anything you did in college. They hear that all the time. They hear about people's assignments, people's projects, what they did. And yeah, all that's great, but they were a student too at some point. Don't even think about putting your class assignments if you actually went and got a bachelor's degree. Don't put that stuff on your resume. Please do outside projects. That's what they're looking for. Something that you went ahead, you had interested on your own, and you made that was an end-to-end project that works completely on your own, out of purely your interest, not because some professor told you what to do. I feel like the only exception to this is something like a senior design project, because oftentimes that's exactly how they're made to be. You go out and you pick a topic that interests you and you make an entire project. The only difference is instead of just doing this for your own learning is you submit that for a grade. And that's why senior design projects might be a little bit different. If you think about it, your interviewer has done these classes already. They've done those assignments. They've done all these things. They don't want to hear about it. And if you are a freshman or sophomore in college, that is different and you're looking for an internship. But let's get back to the point of this video. What if you're not in college and you're not a freshman or sophomore? Do these 4 or 5 years, however long it takes to do your bachelor's, does it actually matter? And this is not something that's cheap. College is super expensive, and also time is money when you can condense all this into 1 or 2 years. The only thing a bachelor's degree, especially a computer science degree, actually gives someone is credibility. Something that you did from start to finish is a bachelor's degree, right? Otherwise, you're in the same boat as a bunch of, or anyone else who's interested in computer science, right? Any company is looking for something that you've done from start to finish. You took something and you brought it to a finish. You executed, which is a bachelor's degree. So what can we substitute with that? You know what's even better than a bachelor's degree? A small business, an end-to-end side project that displays the same things as a bachelor's degree would and uses all the concepts that you would learn in while you're taking all these computer science classes. In some ways, I'd say that's better than getting a bachelor's degree. Now, if you have no degree at all, or you're not majoring in computer science, you've completed your degree, you've done some other work that's not related to tech, and you want to break into the tech industry, I'm not going to lie to you, you will be at a disadvantage. What it boils down to is that it's going to be really hard for the HR of wherever you're applying to or trying to interview with. It's going to be hard for them to pitch someone who doesn't have a degree. You can't fall into the trap of that. You can build a simple app, you put that on your resume, and now you're well on your way to getting a job. That's just simply not the equivalent of getting a bachelor's degree. Don't just build an app, build an OS, a whole operating system, build a networking system. These are examples of an entire end-to-end project, not just an app. You need to build a portfolio and put something notable that's equivalent to a bachelor's degree on the top of your resume. When you're starting out, don't obsess over FAANG. FAANG meaning Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, any of those guys. Trying a smaller company first might be better. Even if it's something that not a lot of people know about, if you work at a small company or any company at all in tech, that shows that you're able to be responsible for something, work in tech, work under that pressure, communicate with others, all those things. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't get paid, which I don't necessarily recommend that, but any opportunity that you can work on a team with others, especially for a company, and you can put that on a resume, that's excellent. You're already there. Once you get your foot in the door and you work somewhere, that's already better than a lot of new grads. After that, work on building up a niche and having some niche skills that are very special to you. Then have a significant contribution to whatever company you're working for or whatever project you're doing. Having skill sets special to you and doing a significant or having able to contribute significantly to a company, that is invaluable. And whenever you discuss your projects or work with someone in an interview or when you're writing, don't just say what you did. Emphasize what you contributed. For example, if you reduce the cost or increase the throughput of the data somehow, even if it's super tiny or minuscule, whatever, you're able to use your special skills and make a change. Next, this is something everyone needs to know if you want to do anything to do with tech. Understand Git and the Agile software development lifecycle. Just read about Agile. Doing so will help you understand the idea of having a product, the whole process of the product, and being able to communicate all the phases of that product. Being able to discuss this in an interview might be the difference between landing a job or not. And for Git, practice this on your own time with your own software. There's plenty of different types of software you can use to practice with this. There's GitHub, GitLab, SourceTree. Make sure you at least know one, but GitHub is very, very popular. I definitely recommend that one. New grads can kind of get away with not knowing about these that well, but I definitely recommend you learning about these, and also putting these on your resume is something that you know. Learn about software like Confluence, Jira, and Jenkins. Confluence is a collaborative workspace where you can put design notes, meeting notes, how-tos. This will be excellent for your first day. Most companies use Confluence to introduce their new hires to their new setup and everything, so it's very common. It's definitely useful to know. Jira is a software where you can see all your tasks and your sprints during the software development lifecycle. You can totally use this software to manage your time on figuring out how to finish your tasks. Finally, Jenkins produces logs of your deployed build. This is how you can debug before you merge your changes. If none of this makes any sense to you, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and review Confluence, Jira, especially if what I just said about Jenkins doesn't make any sense. I feel like if you don't know Git yet, that might not make any sense to you, and that's perfectly fine. After understanding all of these on your own, definitely put these on your resume alongside your boot camps, certifications, and any significant courses you took. I want to make note that these days, hard skills don't really carry the weight of your resume anymore. Soft skills are just as, in some ways, more important than hard skills. It's been a long time that people kind of just offer their special hard skills and that's it, and they're not able to communicate at all with their teammates. Oh my God. I feel like people who are older and who've done a lot of work in their life and have a lot of work experience, I want to just point out that just because you're older, it doesn't place you at an automatic disadvantage. A lot of the time, older people, as in like when I mean by older as someone who's just not college age or new grad age, they're often very professional, way more professional because they know how to be. They've been there, they've done that already before. I can totally imagine if someone tells an engineer you're going to be interviewing someone who's not a new grad, they will be thanking God because they don't have to deal with the unprofessionalism of a young 20-something-year-old. Professionalism is honestly just priceless. You don't think I would have had to say that, but if you're an adaptive, resilient person, and a student at heart, then I would say age doesn't matter. Finally, apply everywhere. Don't be ashamed that you got rejected hundreds of times. I sure did. The economy is especially rough these days, so this won't be your fault. Sometimes they just lose the position or just can no longer hire for that position. This isn't your fault, and it can totally affect your results. If you seem to never land an interview, try thinking about figuring out ways to make your resume easier to read and also applying within just a few hours of a job posting. You can set notifications on LinkedIn and Indeed and all those places that have job postings for new job postings. I would say honestly, in my experience, usually when people struggle to get that interview, there's something to do with the resume more than anything else, because that's the ticket to an interview really. After this video, this is going to continue on to be a series. I'm going to create a guideline of everything that I learned in my bachelor's degree. Everything at least that was actually useful. And for anyone who's interested in getting their hands dirty in tech, this guideline, you really need to understand this. This is what makes the difference between someone who has a bachelor's degree and who doesn't. And all of this stuff that I'm going to talk about in my next video, completely free online. There's so many different types of courses. Every single topic I'm going to post a link of some sort of free course, but there's so many more options besides what I just posted in my next video. The guideline is mainly there to just help give you an idea of what you should be trying to learn, especially if you don't know what avenue you want to go into for tech. After completing the guideline and getting a better idea of what you want to do, the next thing is leak code. I've done hundreds of leak code problems, if not more, to get my job offer. And this is for anyone, whether you have a CS degree or not. This is just a part of the technical interview process. Please like and subscribe if this video helped you. I also want to hear your stories and what got you interested in tech. Good luck!